Hello, Commanders, and welcome back to Tadowski's Shelter. Today, I am going to do something slightly different with this video. See, normally I break down the basics of a topic and give slight tips on some best practices. Today, I'm solely going to talk about best practices. And you may wonder, what does that actually mean? Well, to answer your question and to throw the topic in with it, today I'm going to talk about the best way to get the top Hopeness Lab skills you want in order to try and save the most amount of polymer crystals and DK energy possible. We will dive into the way you should go about doing it and help get you the best skills the first time. Something that you should have done the first time is like and subscribe the channel for more Last Shelter topics, guides, tips, tricks, lives, and so much more. But let's get into the topic. See, I already did a video about the Hopeness Lab and the breakdown of where things are, what they do, and the general idea of why. If you haven't seen that video or are still confused about the Hopeness Lab, I highly suggest you go back and watch that video, which should be tagged above or in the description below. I will now go ahead and talk as if you are already familiar with the lab enough to understand what I am actually talking about. I will also introduce something some of you may or may not have seen before, and that is going to be the hero skill chart by fellow creator 24E Gaming, who has been amazing enough to create informative charts for the game about heroes and other topics. He has two charts on this topic that you can look at. One is for formations and the other is recommended Hopeness Lab skills. We are going to be focusing more on the skills chart than the formation one, but I will mention one thing about the charts before we continue. Now, these charts are amazing and a lot of work has gone into making these, and it's a very good way to go about having help when you go to make formations or apply skills. However, these are suggestions. These charts simply point out heroes that work well together and skills that work well with each hero. This is not gospel. It does not take a lot of other factors into consideration, but it is a general guideline as to what works well together. The second thing I will mention about these charts is that they are practically useless for any player that does not have Season X or SP heroes. It should be known that Season X heroes are the top tier heroes you will gain access to. I've said this multiple times in other hero videos because Season X is on par with SP heroes, and Season 1 through 4 heroes will generally fade away into nothing. Therefore, do not waste a lot of Hopeness Lab resources on Season 1 through 4 heroes, unless you are going to be using them long term. You are better off holding on to the resources until you can get the heroes that will last you for a much longer period of time. That is not to say that you are wasting your resources. I just personally wouldn't go crazy with them. You cannot get those crystals back once you use them, and for some of you, you already know that you can go through a lot of crystals trying to get a specific skill. So it's much wiser to use these resources sparingly on heroes that you may not ever use again or that have a short use time. Now, to get into the details here, you should have already gained the ability to give skills to a specific hero for the lab. Remember, you do this with the season medals. Once you do, if applicable, let's look at the hero chart. Assuming your hero is an SP or Season X heroes, look at the recommendations so that you know what skills you should be aiming for. The top row is going to be basic skills, the second row is going to be more special skills, and the last row are the Mystic Flex skills that can be of the SP variation and assigned through the flexibility. SP Mystic Flex abilities mean that they are super duper special. Once we have our information needed, let's go straight to the skill rolling menu in the Hopeness Lab. Let's take a moment to point out a few things that you may or may not know. As you roll for skills, you can lock in the ones you don't want to re-roll for. You can lock in 3 out of the 4 skills. However, every time you do so, the cost per roll increases. Therefore, Only lock in skills you know that you are going to keep for the time being. Ideally, you want all legendary skills, which is the gold color, but epic or purple is acceptable for now. There are a few options you can choose from when you choose to roll. The left option is normal rolling. Every time you click this option, you randomly get a choice of basic skills. They can have any rarity level, and while you still could get a special ability skill, the chances of getting a special skill are pretty low. To the bottom left of this main box is an intelligent roll checkbox. If you click on this box, when you roll, the skills will keep rolling until at least an epic option becomes available to you. You do not know how many rolls this will take, so make sure you have enough crystals on hand when you do this. This will re-roll all skills until at least a purple or gold rarity skill shows. Sometimes it's the one you want, and sometimes it's random skills that you will never need. This aspect does come down to a little bit of luck. To the right of the main box, you will see an option to use crystals and decay energy. You can also use intelligent rolling on this option to get at least a purple or gold special skill. These skills are special with very specific abilities. However, you cannot get any SP mystic skills this way. On top of that, you can only have one special skill in the hero lineup. So once you save one, do not keep using the DK option, as you will just waste DK energy. Now, DK energy is a special form of resource that you get either by dissolving extra legendary metals or purchasing game packs. I would generally take a lot of the basic legendary metals and dissolve them into decay energy, since these are the metals you probably don't need anymore, and at this point you should have a ton of extras of. This is the only way to get a special ability for your heroes lineup, short of assigning it through the flexibility option. Now, with the flexibility option, after all is said and done, you will have a total of 2 special skills per hero. The second one will come from the one you specifically assign to the hero through choice and not by random roll. So now that we understand the basics of the screen, what is the best way to do this? First, remember that you get at least a couple of free daily spins. Make sure you use them if you need to. You never know what you may get in 5 free spins. Or if you're going to use the free spins and crystals, just go ahead and use them all at once. The smart option is to just select the intelligent rolling and spin until the highest quality of the specific skill you want shows up. Do not pre-lock it in until you know that is the rarity level you want. The first save skill will be your cheapest, so you should attempt to get a legendary level 1 if possible. I normally go into setting up a hero with at least 1,000 crystals, and that can even be pushing the envelope to not get the setup I want. So make sure that you have as many crystals as possible. Now we are going to spin and spin until we get the skill we want of hopefully legendary quality. But if you are wasting a lot of crystals, accept the epic quality skill. Settle for it. Any skill is going to be better than no skill, especially if that skill works well with the hero. Once you do, lock it in place and continue the trend. This is where some people may differ. After locking 3 skills in, some people will switch to the decay energy and attempt to get the special skill. Now, if you utilize the decay energy option before you have 3 skills locked in, the decay energy option will also stop on purple or legendary basic skills. So if you lock in 3 basic skills before you do the DK energy option will only give you special skills to select from. This will save you a lot more in crystals and DK energy. And there's really not much else to say about it. I hate to say that. This is the simplest and best way to go about it. Use intelligent and keep going. I would suggest you stop looking for skills if your crystal resources are dropping pretty low. It's better to have some crystals and skills than none, but use intelligent rolling to make this process quicker and easier and lock in the highest quality you can. This will then bring us to the flexibility discussion. Once you save the 4 skills and back up out of the rolling menu, you will see the 5th slot that you can click on and select a special ability to assign yourself. There are a few different choices you can do here. If you have an SP Mystic Flexibility, you can assign it here. Otherwise, there will be other special skills that you can upgrade by drawing cards and even basic abilities to help boost the hero in a specific area even further. Primarily, flexibilities are recruited in the extraction menu, but special events can give you access to SP abilities. But let's talk about these abilities for a second. There can be some confusion around them, and I want to make sure we address them before sending you on your way. Flexibilities can be leveled up. If you combine copies of the same ability, you can level it up to epic and even legendary quality. Once it hits legendary quality, you can upgrade it even further to make it stronger. Normal abilities can hit a level 4 legendary, and an SP can hit a level 9, I believe. You can split the common abilities for more crystals if you choose to, and this is an area where I would suggest you can split the abilities you will never use, like counter attacks and siege attacks and defender skills. These can net you a good amount of crystals to help you roll for better skills. You can break down any skill that hasn't reached legendary status. However, once it reaches legendary status, you can only upgrade it from that point on. Now, this is useful if you change your mind throughout the upgrading process. The first time a skill hits legendary, it will prompt you to select an ability. This choice will grant the ability to give an extra bonus to heroes who use that troop type. More commonly, abilities will raise the amount of troops the hero can have in their squad. However, the ability will only apply when a hero leads that specific troop type, so only vehicles and not fighters. This is important to note because this rule also applies for the SP and other rarer flexibilities. Once it hits legendary, you must select a troop type in order to level it up any further. And with each level up, the boost the ability gives gets greater. You cannot change the troop type you selected initially. The troop type ability is locked into the ability for the first 3 levels, but once you upgrade the skill to the 4th level, you will then be able to switch it to any troop type at any time. So don't panic if you choose the wrong troop at first. You can upgrade it and then reselect it to the troop type you want to have. The abilities will get stronger and stronger with each level up. You can assign and unequip skills in the reconstruction menu, but you can also do it in the powerhouse menu. And the powerhouse menu, remember, will show you all the skills you currently have and what their status is. You can also split or upgrade them in this menu as well. And that's it. This is one of those rare instances where I wish I had a better tactic for you, but alas, I don't. A lot of the Hopeness lab skills come down to luck and having a lot of spendable resources for the lab. But knowing what each thing does and what you should be looking for should save you some time and headaches down the road. And if you still have any questions about the Hopeness lab, or you have a topic that you wish me to talk about and make a video on, leave those in the comments below. I hope this helped you out in some sort of fashion. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel for any future Last Shelter topics, guides, tips, tricks, and so much more. Remember, help each other out, look out for each other, but most importantly, be safe out there.